Greetings, Tuesdays, person of the genders and persuasions. How you all doing? Thursday, day 21, and today I thought I'd tell you how I injured my left knee. I already did the story of my right knee, and now I'll tell the story of my left knee, which is just as weird and stupid way of doing it. But anyway, okay. Little bit of background information first. Before I moved into this house, I lived in a block of flats, an apartment block. Lovely flat, I'd lived there for ages, you know, 2-bedroom. And this happened about 5 years ago now. So basically the council had decided they were going to do the block up and they were going to put down new flooring and things outside because it just had the old crappy tiles, you know. But anyway, so about a week beforehand, you know, I had all the letters through the door saying when they were going to be doing it, because what they were doing was they were pulling up all the old tiles, levelling it out, and then they were going to put this grey latex stuff down on the floors and then put like this flooring over the top, sort of like lino, like a roll of laminate flooring, for want of a better word, you know. So they were going to do that. So I'd had all the information about it. I knew when it was happening and all of that. Not a problem. So the time came, they cordoned off the doors with this tape, they cordoned off the lifts because they were putting the laminate flooring down, etc. Knew all about that, not a problem. That was being done on a Thursday. I'm like, that's all right. I go out and do, at that point, I do my mum's shopping on a Thursday. I wasn't going to be in. I come home and it's just about dry anyway, so I didn't leave any marks and stuff. So, yeah, not a problem. Knew that was being done. So, the following week, on the Wednesday, was when they were going to put the flooring down. But I didn't know this, right? Now, Wednesday happened to be my laundry day, where I would go downstairs in the basement of the building, use the laundry, washing machine, tumble dryer, and what have you. Now, I didn't know they were putting the flooring down that Wednesday. There'd been no notes through the door, nobody knocking on my door telling me, or anything, not like before the week before when they put the latex flooring down. So, heard a bit of noise outside, thought what's going on, looked out through the little peephole, didn't really see anything, thought nothing of it. Anyway, the time comes for me to go down to do my laundry. So I've got my big basket, right, full of washing. Now bearing in mind this is a week's worth of washing for about 4 people, right? So it was a bit piled a bit high, but I was used to taking it up and down, you know. I mean, went out in the lift, down, and it was there. So I didn't have a lot of walking to do with it. So I opened the door and there's a bloke outside. And I'm like, so I need to get out and do me washing. And he said, oh, that's all right, you're okay. So what they were doing at that point in time is they were putting the glue on the floor before putting the flooring over the top. Like the roll out laminate flooring type thing. Right, so I thought, okay, so I step out. Now I step out, I put my left foot out. As I'm bringing my right foot out of the doorway, my foot goes in the glue. So my left leg goes and my other leg goes, and I'm sort of led there with my legs doing this. Yeah, and I'm then sort of half sat in the glue on the floor, holding up my washing basket. The bloke says, oh, you all right, love? And I said, oh, pardon my language, I said, do I fucking look like I'm all right? Of course, Chris, my husband, was in the flat. So I shout for him. He comes, takes the laundry basket off of me, blah, blah, blah. And I managed to pull me up, right, and get me into the living room. Now, I had glue all up my leg, all over my butt, you know, all down my trousers. One shoe was covered in it as well, you know, so I'm like, ugh, and you could actually see the slide marks in the floor. And I also had glue and that all over the hallway. Luckily I didn't have any carpet at that end of the hallway at the time, by the door. So yeah, there's me covered in glue. My left knee is now throbbing like mad because I've done with the splits. Right? If that's my legs, one leg's done that, the other leg's done that. And yeah, not comfy, not good. So managed to get back into the living room, call the doctor out and what have you. And I'm in agony. So anyway, my husband is going ballistic, right? He goes out to take photographs, but of course by this time, the men smeared the glue, put down the flooring, and they've buggered off, haven't they? They are gone, right? So we had no one to tell off. He phones up the council bloke who had sent the letters out before. Council bloke comes out and says like, oh, very sorry, blah, blah, blah. Are you okay? And at this point, the doctor had been out and had advised me to rest it before, and he said if it gets too bad, to go to the hospital, which I did do the next day. I had hardly any sleep that night. It was swelling up like a freaking balloon. So on the Thursday, the next day, I went to the hospital. And that was where I got it x-rayed and ultrasound scans and all sorts of other stuff on it. I'm in bandages again for a couple of weeks. I am having difficulty walking with it and all sorts. The usual sort of, oh no, you've hurt your knee, you're like, you can't walk in it now, you know. So the results from the hospital say I've got the same sort of thing. I've damaged my ligaments, tendons, that sort of thing. I've damaged the cartilage as well in me. I actually had torn cartilage in my knee, which anybody, no, that's not nice. But anyway, yeah, so all of that comes back. Anyway, fast forward a couple of years, right? I'm still in pain with my knee, but I've got used to it. I'd had physio done on it, you know, I had a few months of physio on it and stuff like that. Still playing me up a couple of years later, but I'm the sort of person like, shut up and get on with it. There's nothing I can do about it, get on with it. Same as with my other knee, you know. So anyway, I'm out walking, limping slightly, because I still walk with a slight limp on it occasionally now. And you got like this like bloke on this side going like, oh, if you had an accident, you could claim compensation, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I'll see about it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he sends it all off, all the information. About a month goes by, I hear nothing. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I can't claim. Yeah. Anyway, I then get a phone call from a different company saying about the information had been passed on to them and that they reckon I could claim. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do you reckon? And they say, well, we won't take it to court and what have you if we're like to sue them basically for compensation unless I'm guaranteed a minimum of £1,000. Because if I win, it's like no win, no fee. So if I lost, I pay nothing. If I win, I have to pay the fee, and the fee was somewhat stupid, like about £300. So if I'd have won the minimum of 1,000, I'd have walked off with about 600 quid in my pocket. And I thought, oh, £600, that'd be nice, you know. So I go through all the paperwork with them. They send me to a proper sports physiotherapist. And this is a private one, so this is obviously costing a few quid to get done, you know. And it's a really posh private hospital, this one. I thought, ooh, a bit posh. But anyway, yeah, so he does all these tests, and I'm on like this like running track and walking, and he's checking my walking gait and everything like that, blah, blah, blah. He arranges for more ultrasound and stuff like that to be done, and more tests done on my knee. Which is where I found out I actually have, if I can get my leg out, I have a swelling there on the side of my leg. Right, it will never go away, and that's after the accident, and it will never go away. And it turns out it's called adipose tissue, and anybody that likes Doctor Who knows exactly who the adipose is, and the fat just walks away. So yeah, but it's actually called adipose tissue. It is real, it is real. Some of the Doctor Who, it's actually real in fact. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I have all these other tests done, and also they say I now have floating cartilage in my knee, again with the ligament and tendon damage and stuff like that. So yeah, they've decided my knee is basically, pardon the term, my knee's fucked, right? The only way I can cure it, I could have surgery on my knee if I wanted to, but there's only a 50-50 chance it'll get better. So I'm like, well, you know, it'd be keyhole surgery, and they'll just like go in and piddle around and try and suck out all the excess and the little floating bits of bone and stuff like that in my knee, you know. So, but, you know, I thought, nah, I can't be bothered with that. So anyway, all of this is carrying on. It went about 4 years, actually, before working with a solicitor and stuff like that, because they were trying to figure out, they wanted to sue the local council, but the council turned around and said, no, we subcontracted to this company. to do the flooring. But this company had subcontracted to another company to do the actual glue flooring, which is what I slipped in. So my solicitor was like, well, we can't sue the council, but we'll sue this flooring company and that flooring company, because they're the ones that subcontracted the flooring company the glue I actually slipped in, right? So anyway, cut a long story short, it took years. Eventually, my solicitor phoned me up one day and said, got some good news for you. They've made an offer of compensation, so it doesn't go to court. Now, the downside was, she said, now, what they'd offered, my solicitor said they could get me more money, but it depended on me having the operation and if the operation worked or not. And I'd already been, and she said, like, this is where she was going on, like, you know, because I was only given a 50-50 chance, if I had the operation and it made it worse, I could claim more compensation money. If I had the operation and it made it better, I can't claim as much because of but the difference is that the operation would be done private and they would add that onto the money. So she said, you know, it's up to you what you want to do with the compensation money, whether you want to, like, take the money and run and say thank you very much, or whether you want to press ahead and try and get more money out of them, or whether you want to take it even further and have the operation. But obviously this could add another 2 or 3 years onto it all, you know. So I was like, well, I mean, at this point I was expecting maybe £2,000 maximum, you know, because I know figures had been bandied about. So I thought, well, I'm not going to get a lot. So anyway, she turns around and says, well, do you want to hear how much they're offering you? So I'm like, yeah, all right then, go on then. She said, £7,500. I'm like, she said, what do you think about that? And I said, I think I'm going to go sit down. £7,500, which is, at that point in time last year, it was about $12,000 if you want to work it out like that way. So yeah, and I actually walked away with, because I had to take this, I walked away with like just over £7,000 in my pocket, right? Which came in very handy. I just said to her, I said, I think I'll take the money and run. You know, I think I'll take the money and run. And she was like, well, I'm not allowed to persuade you in any way whatsoever, but I think you've done the right thing. So good. So yeah. So I walked away with just over £7,000. Check came through the door about a month later. Ooh. That money paid for me, my husband, and my 3 kids to go to Florida for 10 days last year, including the playlist weekend. So that paid for flights, the hotel, playlist tickets, a day at Disney Hollywood Studios, and all the food and everything else, and clothing and everything for that 10 days. And best holiday ever. And this is where I get a bit, because I know I'll never do it again. And playlist was just fucking awesome. I met so many wonderful people, not just YouTubers. I met friends that I've been talking to for years and thought I'm never going to meet these people. You know, I'm not going to name names because I'll just forget people and then, oh, you didn't mention me. So, but yeah, you know who you are, who I met at playlist. And yeah, so the money paid for that fantastic one-off holiday. I mean, yeah, I'd love to go back. My dream at the moment is to try and get to LA, to get to Los Angeles. You know, not necessarily for VidCon, just to go because Los Angeles is one place I've always wanted to go to in America, more than anywhere else, you know. So anybody out there, you know, hey, you want to donate to worthy cause, it's only going to cost me about £600 for a flight. I just can't afford any hotels. Oops. So anybody will let couch surfing, hey, anybody in LA, let me couch surf, that'd be cool, thank you. Fat chats. But anyway, that's the dream of mine at the moment, to go to Los Angeles. But anyway, yeah. So that is a story of how I caused the damage to my left knee. So yeah, that's about it. Right, so that's it for today. You all take care. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.